Hi, welcome to our PSA. And today we're talking about homeless shelters. I'm Bill, and my guest is.
Regenia.
Yeah, and we've just been doing a lot of research on homeless shelters. Just show you real quick on the screen. There's the research, and we'll hide it. and 7 quick things to know about homeless shelters. If you're in the market, or we almost all of us know somebody who needs a shelter. And what are the different types of homeless shelters? How do I contact a homeless shelter? And will there be an assessment to find a homeless shelter? Will I need a referral to get into a homeless shelter?
Yes.
What happens if space is unavailable and I'm denied assistance at a homeless shelter? Then you move to New York. What should I expect when arriving at a homeless shelter? And transportation. Will transportation be readily available when you're at a shelter? I've seen shelters where they're way away from regular mass transit, and I've seen shelters that are right next to the bus stop. So let's get into the different types of homeless shelters. We have emergency homeless shelters. That's
Yes.
basically facilities that are set up for people when they're first time experiencing a financial or home crisis. And these shelters provide access to services, offering support and short-term stabilization options to assist during rehoming process. So like say all those people in, what was it, Oklahoma that recently had the tornado?
Florida, Tennessee,
Right.
um,
All
yeah,
those,
North Carolina.
yeah. I mean, you don't have to be poor to be homeless, because when that
Oh,
hurricane comes, you're home gone.
automatic. Yes.
And then transitional homeless shelters. This is called often terms interim shelters, and there are programs to offer temporary residence between 6 and 24 months.
Wow.
And the big thing with homeless shelters, also between 6 and 24 months, is, even though a lot of people don't know this, is whoever you're helping, urge to them to follow the rules, because they don't have to keep you there for 6 months. If you're not following the rules, they don't have to keep you there for 5 minutes. It's rapid rehousing homeless shelters, and they're called RRH. They're a model designed to help families and individuals find homes as quickly as possible. And then we have permanent support housing homeless shelters. Those are more dedicated to provide housing and other assistance serve assistant assistive ser- services for formerly chronic homeless people seeking long-term help. And PSH provides safe and stable housing for individuals with diagnosed disabilities and have
Yeah,
continuously been homeless for 1 or more years,
exactly.
or been in the system for 1 or more years. And then those with physical or mental disabilities will be provided with permanent housing and
Wow.
intensive supportive care made accessible upon individuals' needs. And then, how do you contact homeless shelters? I found that in my search for this, they have all sorts of things, but and they are saying about the HUD locator system. I'm going to put some for the state of California. Here's the address for HUD. Just check into the chat. there's HUD. And now what I'm going to put in is that's for finding HUD. And for those that might not be able to find it right away on their website, here is the exact link to homeless shelters. Now, seeing as California is a large state, there were 3 large states that they talked about homeless shelters. And the next one is Texas. And each one of these, and the reason why I'm putting these into the chat is, and this link might be too large, but we're going to give it a try, is that each one of the websites on the government webpage are different. And
Whoa,
get
okay.
into HUD. HUD is the same. That's HUD.gov. That's the big thing to remember is HUD.gov. Okay? Because, and you need access to a computer. And if you don't have a computer, cell phones, they're nice, but go to the public library if you're in need of assistance. And they have computers that you can use. Type in HUD.gov and then copy down all the information that they have for your individual state, because people talking to us, Virginia might not be in those 3 states. Then we have New York. Now, New York was an interesting place because what I found with New York is this next link that I'm going to put in here. New York. Not that we don't want people in California or Texas, because Texas is Virginia's state and California is my state. But there's one thing that New York has that the other places do not, and that is an excess of beds. This line right here is 142,259 beds as of 2019 in New York State, and 98,056. Now you'll notice that these numbers are based on 5-year-old numbers. So they might not have beds in New York. I don't know. But this is the most current that you're going to find on the internet. And so what you do is you find the contact thing and you just start calling like crazy, because that is how you find out about homeless shelters.
Yes, Bill. And the biggest challenge for a homeless person when they're trying to get in these shelters is ID. They normally have lost their ID. They don't have their
Mhm.
social security card. They don't have a driver's license or anything. So when you go in these places, you need shelter, and it's like they don't know who you are and they just can't go by what you say. So trying to help you, the homeless person, get an ID, which costs money, even if
Yeah.
it's $10 or $15, you don't even have that, is to get you ID. And I used to volunteer at the VA, and I was
Mhm.
in the homeless department. And every morning we would go out to the byways and the freeways looking for veterans, and we would find them, and they wouldn't have any ID. We would write their name down and everything. And when we would get back to the office, we would find out this is a homeless veteran. They have all this money that's due to them, and they're under the bridge somewhere.
Right.
You follow?
Oh, yeah, totally follow you. And that also goes with the one of the other things that I had gotten from my research is word of mouth is another way to find homeless
Oh,
shelter.
yeah.
Word of mouth, your faith, whatever your religion is, go talk to your pastor. A lot of churches have homeless
Yes.
programs, help programs. Uh, I have talked to quite a few homeless in San Diego because we have quite a large homeless population, and they do go to the restaurants that I go to too. And they say that the shelter is the harder part. With food, it's amazing the amount of places that homeless can go for free food in San Diego. So
Yes, that's great.
food and shelter and medicine, all those things you have to think about. And if you're soon to be homeless, then best to go to a local library and do your research
I agree.
and follow the rules once you get there. That's the big one, because that 6 to 24 months can become 2 to 3 days if you are not following the rules.
Absolutely.
And I'm Bill Doobie.
And I'm Regenia.
Thank you for joining us. Bye bye.
Bye bye.